Greetings Internet, Didier here, and welcome to another Star Wars Unlimited match video we have bringing to you. This time we're coming from JAF Comics, and this is the finals match between myself and Logan. 22 players came out today at the store championship to claim their championship mace. Myself playing my Luke Cunning. I recently posted this list online. I'll post in the comment section below this deck list, and then likewise Logan is on Han Green. The top cut was pretty varied. I think right here we're just kind of checking to see if the cards will come up okay on the camera. So the top cut was pretty varied. We actually had two Iden decks making into the top cut. One was mill and one was built more green mid-range. So then we had a Boba yellow, likewise this Luke yellow and Han green. I think there was a Sabine ECL as well. So I haven't played the Han matchup too much with the Luke Cunning deck. This is actually only my second time playing the Han matchup, but I do have a fair amount of Han experience, so I know what his game plan is. The only question is, can I counter that? And I'll pre-apologize for the shaking camera. It's just the setup that we had. So apologize for the little bit of shakiness that we have. But all right, these are two mid-range decks. So really it's going to matter who, the first few turns are really going to determine who is taking the role of the aggressor and the controller here. They're similar speed decks. Luke and Han come out technically on the same turn, but not really when you consider Han power. So it looks like I had a Chopper, Ezra, Waylay, Cunning, and Kanan. Looks like I'm going to pitch the Cunning, keep the Waylay, Chopper, Ezra, Kanan. That's really good for me to curve out there. He's going to start with a Battlefield Marine, pretty standard there, and I am going to respond with my Chopper. Now, Chopper can be really good in this matchup because Han typically does play a high volume of events. So I'm going to shield my Chopper, draw into Greedo and Yoda. So I'm going to pitch the Yoda, makes sense there. Not really the board state that I want to send Yoda into, plus I have that Ezra. So I think he has initiative here. Yep, he does have initiative, so he's going to go into base, starting out strong with 3 damage. So I do have that Waylay. I have to consider that. But it looks like I'm going to try to go for the exhaust and hit. Oh, I do hit the resupply. Huge hit there. So it's going to exhaust a resource. I'm sure that kind of disrupted his plan there. So really just showing the power of Chopper. Resupply being one of the strongest cards in the Han map. And then he's actually going to claim. Wow, very, very strong there. Huge swing there with Chopper. Getting the Ezra out. This is really setting the stage for the game. Drawing into Surprise Strike and a Leia Organa. Pitching the Surprise Strike, keeping the Leia, likely holding that until Han deploy. So we'll have to see how the rest of this early game match goes. Yep, he's still going to push into base. Makes sense here, considering there's no really good trades on the board. But that Chopper is scary, although he has 4 resources now, so he has some options. We're still going to go with the Chopper attack and get a home 1, but getting 2 damage this time because we do have Ezra on the board. Going for the Han power here, likely to see a 5 drop, so it could be Traitorous or Chewie, so we'll have to see what happens. So going Ezra and trading, since he has so much damage on me, I figured I would play a controller game and just gain control over the board. Taking a peek and not doing anything with it. Dropping down the Chewbacca here. Good play. Waylay on the Chewbacca. Very strong there to slow down because it is kind of 2 for 1 and then additionally dropping the Greedo. It is kind of 2 for 1 because he did burn a card from his hand to do that. So even though he gets the Chewbacca back to hand, it is still a really good play against Han because it's actually coming with the additional cost of the card he had to burn for Han power in order to play that. which was a Millennium Falcon, it looks like. Interesting. So dropping down the Chewy again, but this time we have options, I think. So we'll have to see where we go with this damage. I do have Kanan in my hand and Lothal. Looks like I did get rid of that surprise strike, which I'm sad that I did at this point. Because a surprise strike Greedo could easily take out that Chewy. So, really thinking about this, but Chewy puts me in a tough spot. Are holding that Leia. I think, do I have a Fleet Lieutenant? I do have a Fleet Lieutenant. So really thinking about this. They didn't give us a time limit for the finals, although, as you can see by the length of the video, we didn't use it. You know, two mid-range decks going against each other. So we are going to shoot out the Fleet Lieutenant to send Chopper into Chewbacca, doing 4 damage, getting that Millennium Falcon mill. This is going to get 3 damage in with Chewie. Good play here, not going for the trade. I am going to trade my Greedo then to kill his Chewbacca. Good play there by him, keeping that base pressure on and not being tempted to trade units, because he is playing the aggressor here. So peeking at the top and thinking about it, I have 2 resources open, so we have to see where that's going. And nope, gonna just plop that back on top. So the question here is, am I gonna drop that Leia? Because next turn is the Han deploy. So I can drop it with the shield though by readying a resource. So this is a tough call whether or not to drop this. Looks like I am gonna drop it. Ready a resource and then give it a shield, just to get that extra unit on the board. I'm debating whether or not that's a good play or not. It looks like I do draw into a Cunning, so that may actually work out for me, because now I do have the Cunning to answer the Han deploy instead of the Leia. So dropping down 5 here for another Chewbacca. Interesting play here. So just throwing out his fleet of Chewbaccas into my ground arena. But luckily this time, I have a little card in my hand that helps me answer it. We call it Super Waylay. Super Waylay, a.k.a. Cunning. Here it comes. So obviously going to bounce here. Doing the random discard. The bounce random discard. And I think that's right, because he thought it was 4 cost or less, but it's actually 4 power or less. So it does work on Chewbacca, even though he's a 5 cost. Getting the Bright Hope discard. So, you know, why I discarded there, you always want to discard Han. Even if you don't get a great card, you're taking a resource away from him. So it's possible that he could, you know, use Han power into a really big drop. So you always want to choose random discard on Han. So we're going to see the Han flip this turn. So he very much aggressively used Han power in the early stages. So this is a little bit of a late deploy for Han. Going to discard the Kanan because we already have 1 in hand. Going into actually trading with Han here because the board is scary and I'm starting to put a lot of damage onto him. It is 9. It is actually even up 9-9, and I actually reminded him there to resource. It is easy when you're playing Han to forget that if you can't utilize that resource, you still have to do the resource off the top. I forget that myself, so I completely understand. Pushing in a lot of damage now. 2 damage from Chopper, 2 damage from Leia, and I think we're about to see the Luke flip as well. Yep, here comes the Luke flip, and then actually trading into Han, not wanting him to get that resource. I think because he's at what? He's at 5, 6, 7. So he's going to go to 7, and he could potentially go to 8 next turn. I think that's why I did that. I wanted to prevent any 8 plays that he could have possibly done. Because, of course, home 1 could get Echo Base, or he could play a Reinforcement Walker or something like that and heal and stabilize. That's the last thing that I want to happen right now. Plus, I do like trading into Luke on deploy, because often you can draw into a Luke's lightsaber. I did not draw into a Luke's lightsaber this game. It looks like at all, because I don't even think I resourced one. But we're going to see the U-Wing. So potentially this could save him, although the board is looking kind of menacing right now. How much power do I have on the board? I have 9. I have 13 power on the board. So that's going to bring him to 26. So this is a very, very important U-Wing. Him getting a Sentinel here is extremely important in the ground. He did already burn 2 Chewbacca's, so we're definitely not going to see Chewbacca, I would assume. But him playing an Echo Base or something like that, or a Homestead Militia would be very important here. So dropping down Lackey and Leia. So not getting the best U-Wing, but is taking out the Luke Skywalker with the Lackey. Not good, takes some damage away, but not the greatest, because he does lose the Lackey in the process. So not the best U-Wing, because he's gonna go. He only has that 2 drop. He did take out some damage though. He saved himself 7 damage. Getting the Han discard with Chopper. Just showing the power of Chopper, getting a home 1 discard, getting that early resupply discard. Very, very strong. Yep, and then going in for Falcon damage, getting him to 20, and then dropping the Kanan. So this game is pretty much sealed. I don't even think another U-Wing would save him here, because now I have so much in the ground arena. Like, I'm trying to think of if he has anything. He is on 8. I don't think any sort of drop, because like even Han unit would just kill Kanan, and then I just kill him. So he's going to drop the 3rd Chewbacca. 3rd Chewbacca we're seeing coming out. Crazy, crazy. So it looks like I do have Luke unit in my hand. So I have some options now. I can just Luke unit him. But it looks like I'm going to go for the Falcon damage, just to kind of slow play a little bit to see what happens. See what he does with Leia, basically. So it looks like he's going to Han power. Up to 4, I think. Yeah, that's up to 4. So now it is possible for me. Now I know that since he just Han powered, he wants to play a juicy 4 play. So I'm going to go for the Chopper here. 2 damage. This puts him in... not going to get the resource. Yeah, not going to get the exhaust there. But this puts him in an interesting spot, because he wants to swing with Chewbacca. He also wants to spend those resources on whatever he has in his hand. So we'll have to see what happens here. He is going to swing with Chewbacca. Doesn't really have a good unit to take out, but can go for base damage, which he does. Do I have enough resource? I do have enough resource to drop the Luke, so I can just drop Luke here to kill Chewbacca. That is definitely an option. That will also threaten lethal. I think, do I have lethal otherwise? No, I'm 2 off of lethal if I had to send the Kanan into the Chewbacca to kill him. So it looks like I am going to play the Luke Skywalker to threaten lethal this turn. Get that Chewbacca off, get the 3rd Chewbacca off the field, and threaten lethal if he does nothing else. So yeah, looks like he had no answer, because I did present lethal on the board. So we're going to go into game 2 now. So really interesting match. You can see the roles of who is playing aggressive, who is playing defensive, switched mid-game. I was able to kind of flood the board and keep his units off. The waylay on the Chewbacca was key after he had Han power. That very much slowed him down. So now we're seeing sideboards come out. I don't think, honestly, thinking back on this game, I don't think I actually do the best job at sideboarding in this matchup. I think I left my redemption in the sideboard and did not side it in, which is a mistake against Han Solo, I feel. I don't actually remember what 2 cards I'm adding in against him right now. I think I might be adding Chopper in. Taking out the Yoda makes sense. Not the greatest play against Han Solo. Definitely not. I'm actually taking out Chewbacca here, which I think is another mistake. I think I should have noticed and this just goes to show you how difficult it is. So it looks like I took out a Vigilance and a Chewbacca. I feel like I should have taken out. I chose right the first time. I should have taken out the Yoda. Chewbacca, I think, is better because, especially on the Han deploy turn, it can help me get in extra damage and absorb some damage. But this just goes to show you how difficult sideboarding really is. Sideboarding is very, very, very difficult. It's a very difficult skill. And that's why I think a lot of people comment on the channel and ask how to sideboard, because it's probably the hardest skill. It's either that or choosing what card to resource. Both of those skills are incredibly difficult in this game. But yeah, like I said, this is only the second time I've fought this matchup, so I think I definitely made some mistakes here with the sideboard for sure. Taking out the Vigilance makes sense. Yeah, I think taking out the Vigilance was a good call. Just, I think, putting in the Redemption. I should have taken out both Yodas and added the Redemption in as well. In addition to that, I'm assuming I put in Chopper and something else. Maybe Greedo. Yep, drawing into Falcon, Chewbacca, and I think a Restored Arc as well. Have a Kanan in hand as well. Yep, so we'll have to see how this match goes. Match 1 went favorable for me. I think the biggest play there was that that Waylay. I think that was really big because it allowed me to push ahead in the damage race and kind of put him on the back burner that turn. I was able to push in, I think it was like 9 damage or something like that. So it was a big, big damage turn for me. Starting out with a Spark of Rebellion, huge here, huge. Lots of plays. I think I'm actually surprised by his choice here because I almost would have chose the Restored Arc on my side, but he's going to choose the Kanan because the Restored Arc was my only turn 1 play, so I almost think he should have chose Restored Arc there. Yeah, just switching arenas, being friendly to your opponent. Yeah, because it looks like I drew into an Ezra and a a Luke's lightsaber. So we're gonna probably try to hold that Luke's lightsaber for a little bit, see if we're able to get that onto Luke. Swinging in 2 damage with the Restored Arc. That was a huge Spark of Rebellion. We'll have to see if that Kanan ends up being a strong choice there. I decided to go for the Falcon because I think I want to, because he's not playing units. Oh, he actually passed there completely and didn't even do anything. Wow. Yeah, so I think because of that, I decided that I was just going to go aggro. And that's why I played the Falcon. So he is going to Han power into 5. So we'll have to see what kind of swing he can do. Shooting out the Fleet Lieutenant to get 4 damage in and expend all of my resources. So getting him up to 9 already. So yeah, I figured we were going to see this. Going to see the Traitorous come out pretty huge here on my Falcon. So I'm assuming he's going to trade into the Restored Arc. Yep, trading into the Restored Arc makes a ton of sense here. Just get automatic value out of the Traitorous immediately. So that way, even if I answer the Traitorous, he at least killed a unit. And it looks like I did draw into an answer for the Traitorous, so I did draw into a Waylay. Not the fastest play, but it will get me back my Falcon. So this is a tough spot. Yeah, I think I choose to resource the Ezra because I want to Waylay and Chopper this turn. And I can't Waylay and Ezra, so just trying to, again, play the aggressive role here and just trying to flood the board and do as much as I can. Plus, I am going to get the Falcon back, so I am going to still have a 3-drop. So, yep, we'll Waylay here, take back my Falcon. It's not It's really not the fastest play. It's pretty darn slow, but we'll have to see how it goes. Dropping down another Chewbacca here. Chewbacca must be his favorite card. He loves him. I mean, he is a very loyal companion to Han Solo. Dropping down Chopper, at least we'll be able to get that shield. Yep, he's going to claim, and I'm going to shield my Chopper. So I do still have that Luke's lightsaber, and it looks like I drew into a Surprise Strike as well. Surprise Strike and Fleet Lieutenant. So this is the Luke turn as well as the Han turn. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. So it looks like Logan is very conservative with his Han deploys. He is not Han deploying early. He is being very conservative with it, which, whether that's good or bad, we'll have to see by the results of the match. It's certainly allowing him to conserve cards and things like that. It looks like I'm taking a long time to consider what I'm resourcing. This is a very difficult decision because I do have that Surprise Strike, which it looks like I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep the Surprise Strike, send the Fleet Lieutenant into the bin, and ready up. So we'll have to see where it's going to go. 3 damage to base, I assume. Yep, Chewbacca showing his power, getting that 3 damage into the base. So this is, yep, makes sense here. Going to do the Surprise Strike answer to Chewbacca. Just get him off the field. So we'll see the Han flip here now. Now this is, all right, so we are going to swing in with Chopper. See if we can get the, we are not going to get the exhaust. Darn, that would have been a really, really good exhaust. Unfortunate there. Throwing in a lot of damage now with Han Solo. We'll have to see what he does here with, I think he is on 7 now. Yeah, so he has a 7 drop. Going to shoot out the U-Wing. Big U-Wing here. So this is going to really set the stage of the game. Yeah, it's going to really set the stages of the game here of what we see with this U-Wing is really going to define what the outcome of this game 2 is. So really contemplating this U-Wing. Yep, going to drop the Echo Base and the Bright Hope. So double Sentinels to lock down both arenas. Solid play here. You know, to absorb that Luke attack and then just make, because he knows I have the Falcon in the hand. So just locking down both sides of the arena. Taking out the Echo Base defender with Luke, and this is actually one of my favorite plays to do with Luke. Potentially, I should have dropped the... Oh, no, I shouldn't have dropped, because we're going to... Again, this is one of my favorite plays to do, is actually taking out a Sentinel with Luke and then healing and shielding him. So, effectively, I took out that unit completely for free, which is just great. So, we'll have to see. We do have a Surprise Strike and a Bamboozle. Oh, it looks like I put Bamboozle in against him, which is weird. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I really messed up this sideboard against this in this series here. Oh, no, that's a Spark of Rebellion. Okay. Much better. I was like, why in the world did I put in Bamboozle? All right, so Luke is threatening. Oh, he's going to answer it with Leia. Huge answer there. His first action, answer the Luke with Leia. Going to respond with a Spark of Rebellion. Very fire hand. We have Traitorous. So Traitorous is going to be an immediate answer to the Falcon when I play it, which is very scary. And then he has Cunning and a Reinforcement Walker. So we're going to kill the Reinforcement Walker. He could not have played Reinforcement Walker this turn, but he could next turn. And I was very concerned about that getting that much value. I don't know. That's tough, man. That's a tough call. He had a really good hand there. Deciding which to actually discard there is a very tough call. Now that I know he has the Traitorous, puts me in a really tough spot with the Falcon, right? So I'm going to swing in Chopper, hopefully stop him from Traitorsing. Chopper just not hitting. He hit that one amazing resupply in game 1, but this game 2, Chopper has not been hitting at all. So we're actually going to see the Millennium Falcon here. I wonder if this is a misplay because I know he has the Traitorous. The Traitorous is online, right? He's actually going to claim here. Huh. Wonder why. That was a very, very risky play there. I don't remember why I did that. I thought he had 5 resources showing there. Alright, so hopefully we can see some damage from Luke this turn. Looks like I do have a Waylay in my hand now to answer the Traitorous again. So good answers to Traitorous there. And then I have a Surprise Strike. So hopefully if I Surprise Strike Luke for 10, that could just end the game in the next round, right? Surprise Strike for 10. Oh, Cunning, that's right. He had the Cunning. What am I thinking? So just showing how maybe, perhaps, maybe haps, I should have discarded the Cunning instead of the Reinforcement Walker there. That could have been a better call. Because what he is on, yeah, he's actually only on 7 right now. So, yeah, I probably should have discarded the Cunning now that I'm looking at this match. Because it is a lot. Like, 8 resources was a lot at the time. Yeah, for sure. So doing a Surprise Strike on Chopper. Come on, big boy. Hey, getting the resupply. I mean, it doesn't really, it's not really doing anything right now. But yeah, now he's going to push in some serious damage now. Yep, getting me up to 21. Yeah, and I don't have much else to do this turn, which is just sad. Shooting out the Lethal. Just to put extra power on the board, get that draw and random discard, see if we can get something good. Not a bad pick. We'll have to see. Yeah, it looks like he still has the Traitors in hand and has his own Falcon in hand as well. He's really pushing in the damage this turn, so this is not looking good for me. Behind in the damage race now. The double tap down on Luke was really, really, really key for him. Getting me to 25. Yep. So we still have that Surprise Strike, and looks like I did draw into a Cunning. So the Cunning may be able to swing things, maybe. Now I should still know he has the Traitorous. The Cunning may be able to swing things, because if I +4 Luke... this is a tough call. How many resources do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have exactly enough for Cunning. Tough call, tough call. So if I +4 Luke, I hit him for 11. But then he claims. And then... yeah, you see, I think the problem here is that Traitorous that I know he has. Because I still can threaten lethal, though. So if I +4 Luke, that's 11. He goes to 26. And even if he Traitors his Falcon... oh, but that's 5 damage. Right, because I can do the double tap and then the +4... yeah, with the Traitorous, he still has lethal. This is a really tough spot. This is why I'm probably thinking so long about this. Because I think I might be slowly realizing that I cannot afford to +4. I'm assuming. Yeah. Tough call here. But this is the game. This Cunning is the game. For sure. So I can't bounce Leia. It's unfortunate I can't bounce Leia. Because he's just going to then tap down Luke. So I have to bounce the Bright Hope. Really tough call here. Yep. I mean, certainly taking our time. And hey, all right, so we are going to throw out the Cunning. Hey, Hey, when you don't have a time limit, take the time that you need. Yep, double tap down. Yeah, okay. So we definitely know we're tapping Han for sure. Not a question there. So yep. What I expected. Double tap, Leia and Han, and then bounce the Bright Hope. Now he does have the Traitorous, which I'm assuming, yep, we're gonna see right now. So yep, see that Traitorous come out, and then so I don't have enough damage to take him out with a double Luke swing. Oh, and he has the double Falcon to kill. Okay. So, yep, that showing the power of Traitorous there. Traitorous being very, very strong in that matchup. Very, very strong. Getting 2 great Traitorouses. Yeah, so I didn't have the pump. So, I think either way, me not being able to +4 there. Because I have to get initiative, right? So if I swing with Luke, he swings with Falcon. I have to get initiative, so in order to try to swing in with Luke again. And so not drawing the pump there pretty much sealed the game for me either way, because he would have gotten the first action on me. Or rather, I just wouldn't have had the damage to kill. So yep, going into game 3, really a really tough game too. Double Traitorous, tough. Unfortunate. I think even in this match, I considered to change my sideboard. I remember distinctly remembering and asking myself, I think I need to change my sideboard, and then I just didn't do it. Yeah, so I mean, showing the power of Han Solo, right? Very strong mid-range deck. That 4 damage. He's very similar to Boba. I often compare Han Solo and Boba. I think they're very similar. They just do things slightly differently. Some people compare. Yeah, I would not compare these 2 decks. The Luke, even though the colors are similar, and they're both hero, they're very, very different. I have all the shielding, and he does a lot more with resources. So I actually don't know. I think this match is pretty even. I think the last 2 matches have shown that, because I was not that far from killing him. The Cunning and the Leia was really, really key to tap down the Luke there. But yep, going into game 3, we are going to have to see what happens. We got Restored Arc, Falcon, Ezra, a Waylay, and a Lothal. So a nice hand for the early game. Going to pitch the Lothal, makes sense. Restored Arc's a very strong card. Actually thinking about it. Not good. Yeah, I'm glad I kept the Waylay, because I think Waylay is actually really strong against Han, because it does get it forces that card burn. If he does like a strong early game play, I think it's really, really good to Waylay. So you Boba players out there that struggle with fighting Han, because everyone says that Boba's good again into Han. I don't know. I don't know about that. So yep, go in the Battlefield Marine. And then the Restored Arc in the air as well. Double Kanan draw, dropping 1 Kanan. So we'll have to see. We might see the Ezra come out, or depending on what he does, immediately going to swing in the 2 damage. Not messing around. Going for the Spark of Rebellion. Huge Spark of Rebellion here. So we'll have to see. I have triple 3 plays. Really strong there. Ezra, Falcon, a really strong hand. So this is a tough position for him to choose, because he definitely can't stop my turn 3 play this turn. I'm either going to play Falcon or Ezra. He could also choose the Kanan like he did last time. So going for the Ezra. Actually, a really, really, really smart play there. I actually really like that play a lot, because if I do Falcon this turn, I can't play Kanan next turn. So he puts me in a really, really poor spot, because I'm pretty sure I was going to drop Ezra that turn, and I think I know that, and that's why I'm really thinking about this, because it's tough. I could just waylay the Battlefield Marine. But no, I am actually going to go for the damage. I think I was actually considering waylaying the Battlefield Marine there, but I think it's just a little too slow. It's not actually a bad play. It would not have been a bad play there at all. So drawing into Yoda, did I resource the Yoda? I may want to drop the Yoda. Nope, I did resource the Yoda. Looks like I did draw Spark as well. So dropping down the Bright Hope, just locking me down. I could waylay the Bright Hope. That is not a bad play to push in damage. Yeah, it looks like I am going to do that. Waylay the Bright Hope so I can get in a clean 5 damage. Restoring, and yep, he's claiming and then getting that clean 5. Drawing into a Luke's lightsaber again, so we are gonna see the Luke come out with his saber again, inevitably, and we do. It is 10-5 now, so we are shaping up to be a banger of a match. I wonder what's gonna happen. Kanan can come out this turn, which is good for me. This is interesting. So we are on the 5 turn. He's gonna drop down the Bright Hope again, lock it down. Just lock down the Space Arena. Does not want to take that 5 every turn. So it looks like I'm going to slow play him here to just see what happens. And we are going to see the Han power to come out with the Han deploy. So this is actually, I think, the first time in this series he is Han powering for the Han deploy here. Yeah, so we see the early Han deploy. Looks like I'm going to claim, and he's just going to send 4 damage into base. Does he have a 3-play? I'm not sure if he has a 3-play here. He actually is going to waylay the Kanan. Huge play there. That is a huge tempo swing. Wow. Wow, huge play there. Getting rid of that Kanan is massive. So yeah, that was definitely a huge shift in the match. It looked promising for me at that point. Because Luke was coming out this turn with his saber, and I can kill the Bright Hope. So it was looking promising for me. I was going to be able to punch through a lot of damage this turn, especially with that Kanan. But not anymore. So shooting down the Spark of Rebellion, having his own Spark of Rebellion, and then Cunning and Falcon. Really tough call here. Holy jeez, this is a tough call. It's probably going to have to be Cunning, which is really unfortunate because he's going to get to rip a card out of my hand and play the Falcon. So it's like, it's choosing which terrible outcome you want. Do you want to get Cunninged, or do you want him to discard a card from your hand and play his Falcon? So it has to be Cunning. Yeah, Cunning is just too powerful. So, yep, makes sense there. Take out the Cunning. I think he's just going to bop me for 2 here. Get that Sentinel attack. This is something that new players should definitely learn to do, is that when you have a Sentinel on board, you always want to attack with that Sentinel because the Sentinel is going to die. So seeing the Luke deploy here, hoping that he doesn't spark me. So he is not going to spark me, which is good for me, so I can get that Luke's lightsaber on board. Looks like he is slow playing me as well. But we are going to get the Luke's saber online, so we know he cannot answer him. So we are going to get that 7 damage in right now. But he is just pushing heavy damage. He's seeing red right now because I'm at 21, and this is tough. I do have a Cunning in my hand, but I am sure that we are about to see a Spark to kill that Cunning. I'm sure of it. So, yep, here comes the Spark. Kanan, yep, obviously choosing the Cunning there. It's really sad Kanan is not on the board. If Kanan was on the board right now, this would be a completely different match. But, Logan just showing that he has a lot of experience with this Han deck, knowing when to, waylay and knowing when to Han deploy. Just a lot of it's calculated play coming from this Han player. So this is a great match to watch if you are interested in playing either of these decks. This is high caliber play here. So getting to 23 on my side and having him on 19. So it is not over yet, but it looks like I did not draw into anything great. I drew an Ezra and a Restored Arc. So I think this may mark my death because I think this is the turn, right? He has a ton of damage on board. I have a ton of damage on board. We're literally racing each other. And if I recall, actually, if you watch my updated video, I added in a single the forces with me after this game. I didn't run the forces with me in this list in this tournament. And I think this turn is what made me realize I needed to add it because I was just drawing into no pumps. I really, really, really needed, because if I had a surprise strike or a forces with me, I would be able to get him to 29 on the first action. And then potentially I could swing it. But yep, we're going to hit 7 to base. So take him to what, 26? And just seeing if he has the pump. Right, yeah, 26. So yeah, it's unfortunate I need 3 actions. That's the problem. I need 3 actions to kill, and he only needs 2, because this is going to take me to 27. Oh, but the Restored Arc. The Restored Arc for 1. The Restored Arc for 1. Oh, and he's trading the Falcon. Smart play. Ah, ha, ha. Yeah, so, could I have won there if I shielded the Falcon instead? Oh, wow. What a crazy turn of events. That was just an insane end there. So that was crazy. I came down to the absolute wire. Restored Arc almost won me the game, and I actually think there is a chance I could have won there if I shielded the Falcon instead. I didn't think about it completely, but then again, he could have just traded the Restored Arc after I swung with Luke. Yeah, no, maybe not. Really close game there. Holy jeez. Really, really, really close game there. Because he had to attack the Falcon with his Falcon. So potentially he could have not had lethal there if he didn't have the other Falcon in hand. So that was just, wow. That is just a crazy end to this series. Coming down to the absolute wire there. Losing by barely an HP. 1 HP, 1 action, 1 single card in the hand. Well-deserved win over there by Logan on the Han side. I wasn't gonna make him easy. I wasn't gonna make it easy for him, and I certainly think that this was an amazing match. This is what we come out for. This is why we love Star Wars Unlimited. Matches like this, Jedi versus Smuggler, Blasters versus Sabers, and just a great match. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe for the best gaming content. And as always, turn your dial to Random Number Gaming for weekly updates on Star Wars Unlimited.